away.
Good evening, everyone. Today we're going to speak about the lead as the last in this series of window function. Last session we talked about the lag and how we can use it to calculate week on week and how it's very useful function in the window function umbrella. Today we have a very nice example for a lead and how we can use it to make a single pass with a window function that we don't need to do a self join, which are way more faster, a way more efficient. And if we speak about the efficiency, it's a way more efficient than using the self-join. That will help you to create a foundation for your time series analysis by preparing your target column, which it will be your Y in your regression model. And the idea is to prepare the percentage of a change on that column by use of the lead without the need to do that kind of self-join. One of the very nice criteria in this window function that it's like one line without the join, that of course enhance the simplicity of reading your code. So your code became more readable because it's like easier. And if someone will be trying to debug the code in the future or update the script, it will be a way more easier. And the most important part is the performance. It's a way more better than using the self join. Here we have our tables that we used also last time. And if you are new on this first video, I will keep the same in the description so you can build the same table. For simplicity, it's like a sales date data and it have only date and sales amount. We use like around 30 or 50 points and we will use this 50 point to build like the table and to build our next day sales as it's seen here. Let's open a new topic and let's start building our lead. And let's first start by building if we will need to use the self join, how we will do it, and then after the self join, that is like not the best option, we will check how we can do it just with lead. So select, then we need of course, because like you will do self join, the SQL will read it as two tables. So you need to give abbreviation that allows the SQL to differentiate between the first and second. So our table here is called sales data. So from sales data, okay, and let's call it A, and then we will join it. Sorry, let's call it A, and we will have join again in sales data, and this time it will be B, and on. What is the column that we are using in comparison? In that case, we are using the date as our like key join between the two tables because the date is unique. Of course, it's just for simplicity. So we will do b dot date. So the second column date is equal to. Then here we need the a dot date. Okay, so we need to create the column from B that matches the column from A, correct? But if we do that, so we will have now end up with two sales. So sales 1, which from A, 125, sales from B, for example, you can see here, it's like sales 125, so it sales 125A, sales from B 125. We don't need that. We need 132 to come here as it's shown here. So what we should do to make it like that? So we will say plus 1. So if you remember the equation from last time, it's like date added. So we will add a date. And we will add 1 to the date. So we'll add day because we are having like a daily data. And then we will add 1. This one, it will do what? It will, instead of take the 125, it will join that date from the first table, which is table B, to that row from number A, and this means 132 will come here. And let's put it here, okay, and let's close it. And now we need to select the columns. So we need a date, we need a sales, okay, and then we need B sales. Now B sales is the next day sale, because here you talk B, you join it, so next day from A, right? So B now is joined on one day after from A. So next day, okay, and then we can run it, okay. So you can see now, like A 125, B is 132, because, let me explain it again. Here, self-joined, you join sales data B. This is a table P. But how you joined B? You joined B date, which one, like 1st of July, on A, but you took from A the column from 2nd of July because you added one day. So you move it one step. That's why it's very important. Once you calculated the next day, you can calculate the percentage of change. And then by that way, you will be able to build the foundation for your target column that you will use as Y in your regression equation in the future. So this is how it will work if you use a self-join. Of course, if you have a complex script, if you have a lot of calculation, usually that is really not the best way to do it. So let's see how it's a clean and the best way to do such kind of calculation. Okay, so let's now use the lead one and see the simplicity in using this equation. So it's select. And here you don't need to do self-join. So actually you don't have A and B, you will just select everything from same table. So date, then sales, and then now we need to calculate next day. So you will use lead, simply as we explained before, which column we are targeting. We are targeting sales, so let's use sales, and then close the bracket, and then we do over to do the partitioning. Do we need to do partitioning? No, it's like daily, so it's in every row. So we don't have like to partition on a specific column, so we will directly use the order by and date. Of course, date, because here it's daily, so it will directly be a daily date. Order by must have a space, and then date. Let's close it, and then as next sales. Okay, so I make it next sales so you can see the difference in the table. Then from, and then sales daily. Sales daily. Okay, let's run it and let's see. So you can see it's next sales. This is the one run now. It gives the same output, a way more flexible, a way more clean. You didn't do anything, just you order by the date. You didn't need to add one day from your side. So if you're calculating a time series for a monthly basis, for a weekly basis, for a daily basis, you don't need to really go into the hassle of how many days you will add. You will use the same code. So it's also like reusability of the code and sustainability of writing the code. With lead, it's always better. Okay, but we want to calculate the percentage of change. So let's add one more column to show how to calculate the percentage of change. We will have the same, of course. So we need this one, right? Because that one that we use to calculate the next day, right? We need to do simply next day minus sales, and then we do the division and multiplication. So this is next day minus, okay, sales, but I won't make it float because I want a percentage, so I want to be sure that I have like a formatting that support what I am targeting. Okay, let's put all of that in brackets and make cast. Okay, of course we choose float, so we added last or like next day sales minus sales from this day, so 132 minus 125. Then we cast it as a float. Okay, now we need to divide it so we can get the, we will divide it by sales. So same day sales multiply by 100 as a percentage of a change. So we did tomorrow sales from today's sales. Then we cast it as a float because I want to keep it as float. Then I divide it by the sales. Then I multiply all of that by 100 to get the percentage of change. Let's run it again. Give an error. So let's add the cast in brackets. And then let's do the multiplication inside brackets better. And of course, it must be float because already we are using float. So let's keep the consistency. Then divided by sales, add percentage of change. So all of that would be percentage of change. And let's run it. And then we got the result. The percentage change here, it was like 5.6, then it's like 9.8 minus, and etc. And you get the full percentage of exchange over the days. So by this way, you will be able to set the foundation for your target column in your regressions that you're trying to build, and without the need for complexity of doing self-join. Thank you for listening, and I wish you a nice evening.